So before I start this video, I would like to announce that for the next couple weeks leading up to whenever the hell the actual finale of this Season 10 decides to release, I'm going to be doing weekly videos based on rankings for The Walking Dead. So starting this week, one of these days this week, I'm going to get out a ranking of every single season of The Walking Dead from worst to best, all 10 seasons ranked. Obviously, Season 10 has not gotten the final episode, but I'm going to rank it anyways, just how it is. And maybe when the new episode comes out, we'll see if my ranking changed then, but we're just going to do the ranking anyways. And then every Sunday after that, every Sunday going forward for the next 10 weeks, we're going to go by season to season and rank every episode in the individual season itself. So we're going to start with season 1, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And then season 2 is going to be after that. Season 3, we're going to rank every individual episode in those specific seasons as a whole, and then go through all the way up to season 10. I thought that'd be a better thing to do instead of ranking every single episode, because that just would take way too long. It would be way too tedious, and I don't think people would want to watch a 3-hour video of me ranking every 150 episodes of the show. I've done something similar to that before after season 8, but I'm not doing that again. If you want to go see my ranking back then, go for it, but instead I'm going to go by season to season. And then after all that's said and done, hopefully we'll have the season finale by then, and when we do get the season finale after that, I'm going to do the ranking of my top 50 favorite episodes, what I think are the top 50 best episodes of the Walking Dead franchise. Or not the whole franchise, just the series itself. Maybe we'll do some rankings with Fear and the new universe as well when they start coming out. We'll have to wait and see, but I just wanted to announce this for now, so at least you guys know these things are going to be coming out in the future. So we'll have some awesome Walking Dead content until we get the finale, the actual finale of Season 10. Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and welcome to my review video for The Walking Dead Season 10 Episode 15, which is titled The Tower. So I'm going to go into non-spoiler review first, and then spoilers as we always do. And I'm always honest with you guys, right? I never lie. I always say exactly how I feel after I watch these episodes. And I gotta say, I really did not enjoy episode 15. I think there's a lot of bad things about it. I think there's a couple of great things about it. But majority of it, I really did not enjoy. I found myself getting bored at times, which I know boredom, that's a very subjective thing. Not everyone gets bored over the same things, but this is a personal review, so that's just how I'm just gonna say it. I felt bored at a couple moments where I was like, this is not, I know it's not a finale, but it's not even episode 15 worthy. It feels like a finale because it's the last episode we're gonna have for probably a while, depending on when we finally get, the next episode. So I'll go into, specifics when we get into the spoiler review section, but I do feel like there's a lot of great moments, a couple of moments where I was like, that's awesome, that's great, whether it be the great acting or the great dialogue or whatever it may be. But the majority of this episode felt like it was just, not much happened, right? And I know we get those episodes all the time. Not every episode needs to be some big action-packed episode. But then again, this is episode 15, and we're in the middle of the Whisper of War, right? It's not like we're just at any other random season at some random point. We are in the midst of the Whisper of War, and being a big comic fan, we know we got these really awesome battles in the comics. I was already slightly disappointed with the Hilltop battle. Looking back on it now, it wasn't that bad. I think it was fine. I just had some problems with how they cut over so many different things. Like, they just skipped over more than half the battle. But again, if I'm just gonna give this a rating out of 10, because I want to get the spoiler free section of this review out of the way, because let's be real here, there's not much to talk about when it comes to spoiler free. I just felt like it was a meh episode. 7 out of 10. Okay, that's not a terrible ranking. I don't think any Walking Dead episode ever would get below a 5 out of 10. I would never give an episode lower than that, because I don't feel like that's deserving, of a Walking Dead episode. I just would never give an episode below that. This feels like to me a 7 out of 10 type episode. Well, it's not a bad episode, it's just not very good. And I really found myself probably the worst episode of this half season, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I hate to say that, but it is what it is. So let's talk about the actual spoilers. Now, what I loved about the episode, what I didn't love, that's what we'll do. Well, should we just start off with stuff I didn't love? Because there's a lot more about it that I didn't love than what I did love. First of all, the princess stuff, let's talk about that. The princess, Yumiko, Ezekiel, Eugene stuff on the road. Why? We're in the middle of the Whisperer War, okay? It's not like we're just at a random episode like I said before. Why are we focusing on, for let's say, I think maybe 12 minutes of this episode, which is a quarter of this episode, is just focused on them? Now, I loved Princess in this episode. I thought she was hilarious. I really like the writing behind her character. I really am just interested. The actress killed the role, killed it, right? But why is it happening now? In the middle of the Whisperer War. This is stuff that should be happening in Season 11. It should have been what started Season 11 off right after they're done with the war. It's all done, and then this group goes on this run to Commonwealth or whatever. They go on this run to Stephanie, and they come across Princess. We should have been introduced to the character in Season 11, because that's when we start a fresh slate. We're done with the war, and we're moving on. But having this now, it just, whenever you get these scenes, I'm like, okay, I just want to get back to the war. I want to see what's happening with the war, right? And we had the whole minefield scene. Oh my god, that scene was like 5 minutes long. We're just sitting there looking at them freaking out about a minefield that didn't have to happen in the first place. You could have cut that out, right? Now, I know what it's doing. I understand the purpose of it. It's trying to show who Princess is. She's this lonely person who really just wants people to be with her, and I'm fine with that. But that should be in Season 11. That shouldn't be now, you know what I mean? That's just, I don't care. Kelly and Carol, they had a pretty good talk, but I just felt like what they were talking about, and this is probably a personal thing, it's definitely a personal thing, because honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal, but I was so bored from their conversation. I'm sorry. It's maybe I'm just not interested in Kelly's character, maybe that's why. I was sitting there like, I just get done with this conversation already. I don't care. I get it. You know, you think that, you know, her being weak is a superpower for some reason, even though, no, people can have flaws. It's okay to have flaws. You're not always going to be perfect. Just because you have a flaw doesn't mean you're a terrible person, but it doesn't mean it's a superpower either. That's just a personal thing. I just did not care for that conversation. I don't really want to include that, you know, in the ranking because it's so subjective. But it just bored me. And it was a pretty long scene as well. So Daryl and Judith, I loved how they had them interact, right? Because I love those two characters together. I love them interacting. But what was the point of it all? Judith saw someone die, right? Sad, right? And then Judith started talking to Daryl and said, oh, I don't want you to leave. That's why she wouldn't tell him about who's on the radio, right? But again, this is this kind of stuff that, like, why did we have to focus on so much of the episode on that? We're in the middle of a war. And that's the thing. I'm sorry. Like, I maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. And you guys can explain to me in the comments, because episode 12, you guys were freaking out on me for, even though I love the episode, you guys were still freaking out because I didn't give it like a 10 out of 10 perfect. Then maybe this episode is the same way. I don't know. I just was really feeling like a lot of this was just so dragged down. I was expecting the next 2 episodes to be something bigger. It's the Whisperer War, right? The field battle in the comics, right? At least All Out War, we got every battle I was expecting. Every battle that's in All Out War in the comics, we see in the show. So it gives those comic fans those awesome battles. Whether or not you think they're done well, that's a completely different discussion. At least we got them. We're not even going to get the field battle unless they fit that into the finale somehow. I don't know. But from the looks of it, I don't think this was. I think they're literally just going to have the Walkers and the Whisperers go through the hospital while people are in it. Probably have some really badass stuff. Probably they're going to kill all the Whisperers and there's going to be a big fight inside the hospital. We'll probably see Negan versus Beta. Daryl will come back. Daryl versus Beta. We'll see a lot of cool stuff, I'm sure. But what about the field battle? What about Alexandria being swarmed and people having to hide in their houses and Whisperers coming through? What about that? We're not going to get any of that. Instead, we're going to get something shoved into a 40-minute finale, which we're not even getting at the normal time. Maybe I'm just so disappointed because, and look, I never like to hype myself up for an episode, right? But I saw people on the Twitter, the people who usually hype up episodes beforehand, they get to see them early. They were saying this episode's really good. They compared it to a Gimple season finale. Excuse me, what? Let's look at, okay, Gimple, meaning the season 2 showrunner. Obviously, they're not his finales completely because, you know, there's a bunch of writers, whatever. Season 4 finale. That awesome scene with Rick biting out Joe's throat. I mean, you don't have any scene like that, right? Season 5 finale. I mean, come on, that's one of the best episodes in the show. You have all that tension behind it. Then you got Pete there slicing, or not Pete there, Pete getting his throat sliced by... Or no, Pete slicing Register. I forget these people's names. It was so long ago. Season 6 finale. That insane, just intense buildup. And then you see Negan come out there and you're just like, oh shit. And then you got Carol fighting against this dude. Morgan saves Carol's life. Season 7 finale, a whole battle. Season 8 finale, another whole battle. You're comparing this episode to that? To those? What? I don't know. No disrespect to the people on Twitter who see the episodes early and review them, whatever. No disrespect, but I just don't get how you can compare this to a finale that we've had previous. I don't get that. Now, I've talked about the bad stuff. Let's look into good stuff, because there is some great stuff about this episode. Like I said, Princess was fantastic. I really like the actress. I really like the character of her. I think that should be in season 11. I don't think that should be now. One thing I want to mention that I really liked was how Eugene was kind of like comforting Princess after Princess was explaining how she lied to them to kind of get more friends because she was lonely. Eugene has not only been feeling very lonely lately these past few episodes, even this past season, but he's also had a past of lying a lot to save his own ass. That's kind of what Princess is doing here. So I really liked how they made that connection to the two characters. It makes sense as to why they had that happen. And I do like how Yamako was there to kind of befriend her in the end and say, oh, you want to come along, because they felt bad for her. Like I said, I love the Princess stuff in this episode. Like, I loved the character of Princess. I just didn't love the fact that it was placed in this episode and the fact that they had the whole minefield scene, which went on for way too long. But that's besides the point. The scenes between Negan and Lydia, that's that one scene in particular. I didn't think all of them were great. They had like a couple scenes together. I'm like, we need all these. But that one scene, Cassidy McClincy, who plays Lydia, killed it. Great acting in this episode all around. Even Kelly Fleming as Judith killed it. They all killing it this episode. But Cassie had a really good scene where she was just freaking out on Negan, and then they have this nice hug, and Negan's tearing up. Really good scene. I think that was really important, and I really enjoyed how they did that. And I do like how, like I said, Judith and Daryl were together. Out there, she wanted to like learn or whatever, and yeah, it was fun stuff. And then I started to realize, okay, there was still so much more I feel like this episode could have brought to the table, but it didn't. Maybe a lot of missed opportunities. We then had also Aaron and Alden. They were on the road, and they got surrounded by whisperers. Now, I was expecting to see the, I guess, resolution of that here, but obviously we're not going to see it till the finale, which, I mean, like, that could have been a nice scene to have. I mean, it depends what happens with them. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I don't know why they'd do anything but kill them, but we'll have to wait and see. I feel like at this point in the war, why wouldn't the Whisperers just shoot them? Like, what's their gain of keeping them alive? They already know where they are. They already see the tower there. So what was the purpose of those Whisperers just not shooting Alden and Aaron on sight? You know what I mean? I don't get that. But then again, I'm not a Whisperer. I don't know their mindset. So, that's that. So that's all I really can say about this episode, because there just wasn't much to it. I think that's the issue I have, that there just wasn't much to it. That might be the main thing I can say about it, and I think that's why I was so disappointed. And maybe after rewatching, like I said, maybe I'll find a new appreciation, but a lot of the scenes I felt like just either didn't need to be there now, or maybe didn't even need to be there at all. Or they could have just worked around these episodes better, so we'd be getting a better war. I don't know. I'm not satisfied with this war. Maybe after episode 16 I will be. Maybe I will. But for now, I just don't feel like I'm ultimately satisfied with the war. You know what I'm saying? Which is okay. I don't have to love everything about this show. I've been a fan of it since season 2 or something. I've been watching for a while, right? And I've loved every season. I've never hated a season. And this season, I don't hate. I just one episode that I don't like that much. I don't even hate this episode. I just think it was subpar compared to what we've gotten the rest of the season. And that's why I'm disappointed. That's why I feel like, damn, I want more, Maybe that's selfish of me. Maybe I'm entitled little prick. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments. I already know this is going to get a ton of dislikes, because every time I talk any negative things about anything, I get dislikes, because that's just how life is. I don't know, man. But I'm honest with you guys. I'm not going to lie and say I love the episode if I didn't, because I clearly did not love the episode, and that's showing pretty hard now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. You probably didn't, because you probably loved the episode, because I'm seeing people loving everything that these people do, but whatever. Hopefully the finale is great. I hope it's sooner rather than later. I don't want to be waiting until September to see it. Hopefully it'll be within the next month or two. Of course, you'll be getting a reaction review. There's not going to be a prediction video for episode 16 because we don't have any sneak peeks. Now, unless we get something. If we do get something on Sunday, we might. I don't know. Or maybe a Monday. Or whatever we get sneak peeks and trailers, then I'll do a prediction. But if we don't, then I'm just not going to. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.